exciting. What'd you miss? Wall Street is entering a new era. The fraternity of bond jockeys, derivative mavens and stock pickers who've long personified the industry are giving way to algorithms and soon artificial intelligence. Firms on the buy side are using technologies in different ways. We see money managers using algorithms to identify and sometimes even execute trades across portfolios. We've seen these machines utilised by analysts monitoring news wires, social media, even sifting through data like satellite images or shipments and property listings to track economic trends. With this information on hand, firms can build models and conduct forecasts and valuations to make investment decisions faster than ever before, a task that would normally take any banker months to dig through. One of the companies spearheading this change is Kognetics, a startup which develops machine learning algorithms to identify potential M&A targets, primarily in the tech world. Inder Thukral is the CEO of Kognetics and joins us now. Great to have you on the show.
Thank you.
That was a pretty long introduction, but we just wanted to set the scene here. Your machine learning algorithms work in the investment banking space. Just explain what they do and how quickly they work.
We take information from a variety of different sources, news sources, websites, industry analyst reports, US patent data, words, and combine them with numbers to really sift through lots of data to track industry trends, things that companies are doing, and how companies fit with each other. It's literally like an eHarmony for M&A. But we're taking hundreds of variables to find matches between companies. And the reason it does this quickly because we use algorithms to sift through mountains of data to find these matches rather than doing long lists and short lists, which traditionally bankers have done, which only sift through a small amount of data that they have available. This allows for much sharper insights and much more targeted insights that makes the banker much more facile in front of their clients and saying why this match is best suited for the companies that they're talking to about.
So you're automating some of what investment bankers currently do. Where does that leave the humans' role? How will humans fit into this?
I'm glad you asked that question. I'm a little, one of my pet peeves is the word automation, because I think the word automation sort of, covers a lot of nuanced sort of thinking about how people do their jobs. There are some aspects of your job that are quite grunt work and repetitive, and there are others that require high level of cognitive skills. So when we talk about using AI and machine learning, we're really looking at that grunt work aspect of this and removing that. And that lends itself to leaving the bankers to doing much more higher order thinking about industry and industry trends and understanding their clients better and relationships better and be better bankers than spending time behind the desk, behind spreadsheets and PowerPoint presentations.
So when your software is making these recommendations, potential matches between companies, is it looking back at the history of deals and the history of M&A to find things that map against deals that have worked? Is that the idea?
Yes, that's one of the attributes. It's looking back, but it's also looking at what do companies do today and what are their gaps relative to their competitors or where the industry is headed. So it's looking backwards and it's looking forward to find those matches. So when a large company enters into a new space and it's competing with a new set of players, it identifies other companies it should be buying to be more competitive.
When we hear about financial technologies, there are a lot of things that sound very good on paper and they sound very nice, but there's always a really difficult challenge of culturally implementing software. It's one thing to just run the software. It's another thing to get it adopted, to change workflows. What experience have you seen on that front in terms of just getting people to make it part of how they work?
Absolutely. One of the things that we've done as a firm is to keep the analyst or the associate in the middle of the process. Because one of the things that we recognized very early on, nobody will accept black box answers. The machine told me this. So one of the things that we say that the reason an MD is going to believe their analyst is the narrative. So we actually keep the analyst control the narrative. They use the system to answer questions that get answers that would have taken them several weeks to get, but they control the narrative.
So it's a huge time-saving benefit. It is going to cost jobs, though. We have to be honest here, don't we? It is going to do some analysts and associates out of a business, out of a job, surely.
It's possible, and it's likely. But I think what we have found in our experience that this is less of a substitution, it's more of an augmentation. It's really empowering the analyst to do more. One of the things that we find that at least in the work, most analysts will tell us that they never have enough time to do a good job because they are running up against a deadline. So this allows them to do a much better job. And the augmentation part is really what we need to sort of emphasize in terms of how it makes those analysts better.
No more all-nighters.
No more all-nighters, no more Team Xerox, but some would argue that doing all those things, that grunt work, prepares them for the ability to negotiate those deals, to be client-facing, to actually pull the trigger on those deals. What will deal-making look like in 3 to 5 years' time if those introductory bankers no longer have that job and everyone who's left